study might spark a conversation in your house about posting on social media. Good evening, I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Collin Ruane. Thanks for joining us. This study found kids are twice as likely to report adults should not overshare on social media. KOMU-TV's Paxton DeBlasi tells us about the other findings. A new study ranks Boone County as one of the healthiest counties in the entire state. It puts Boone at 7th in the state for health factors and 14th for health outcomes, significantly higher than neighboring counties like Callaway and Cooper. Local doctor Scott Schultz says the high ranking probably has a lot to do with the area's education level. He says it's proven more educated people make healthier life decisions. Good news for drivers. Construction projects on 3 I-70 bridges in Columbia are halfway completed. The new bridges are going in at Business Loop 70, Rangeline Road, and Garth Avenue. The project to replace them began last August. One MoDOT spokesperson says despite the construction and delays, drivers are very understanding when driving through the areas. All 3 bridges are expected to be finished by October. The new bridges at Garth and Rangeline will open next month. 2 people are facing multiple charges after a group of 4 people were caught with stolen property. Cody Allen Johnson and Karina Wagler are both being held on $100,000 bonds. Marys County Sheriff's deputies responded to a home off Highway P near St. James. There, authorities found a trailer and a truck full of stolen property along with a firearm. A Columbia man with 3 active felony warrants is hospitalized after crashing his truck on I-70 this morning after a police chase with Boone County Sheriff's deputies. Deputies were looking for this man, 31-year-old Michael Pauls. He had an outstanding failure to appear on warrants on multiple charges, including burglary, possession of a controlled substance, and credit card fraud. Pauls was also a suspect in a recent larceny investigation. His bond has been set at $30,000. Governor Jay Nixon vetoed legislation today which would require public employees to give written consent before union dues could be withheld from their paychecks. Nixon says the bill hinders people's rights to collective bargaining. Lawmakers now need a 2/3 vote in each chamber to override that veto. One True False Film Festival documentary is drawing buzz that the film might be false. A defamation suit was filed against a New Zealand filmmaker who directed the film known as Tickled. The film follows a tickling competition and its participants. One man featured in the film says he was wrongly portrayed as a criminal. The plaintiff's lawyer is attempting to move the case out of Boone County because the case involves $75,000 between citizens of multiple states and a foreign country. Senators Claire McCaskill and Roy Blunt, along with Representative Sam Graves, are working together with the U.S. Embassy to help free a Missouri teacher. Matt Novak went abroad to teach in Egypt years ago and had no problem until recently. Novak sent Facebook messages to his family saying he was in custody in a United Arab Emirates jail. Novak's family says his identity was stolen when he lost his passport in 2010. Rainy and chilly start to the weekend. Let's send it over to Tori to see if it will stick around.
Thanks a lot, Collin.
Plus, researchers look into how to stop Zika before it starts in the U.S. Welcome back. Michigan Governor Rick Snyder spoke today for the first time in Flint after his contentious hearing in D.C. He says he was led to believe the water in the Flint River was safe by the state's Department of Environmental Quality. Now he wants to focus on solving the water crisis, but blames misinterpretation of the law to cause the crisis. More research teams are trying to solve what the World Health Organization calls an emergency of international concern. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota expect to start seeing the Zika virus in the U.S. this summer. So they have started working on a vaccine using parts of the virus. They expect the process to take up to 10 years and costing $1 billion. In national news, a police officer in South Carolina was shot and killed this afternoon while serving a warrant. Authorities say 2 officers went to a home in Greenville to serve the warrant, but the suspect saw them and took off running. That suspect, who is a self-admitted gang member, fired at the officers and hit one of them multiple times. The suspect later shot and killed himself. 2012 Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney announced he will vote for Senator Ted Cruz in Tuesday's Utah caucus. He posted the statement on Facebook and said Cruz is the only candidate who can defeat what he calls Trumpism. Romney spoke out against Donald Trump earlier this month, calling him a phony, but Romney doesn't say he wants Cruz to win the nomination, rather that he hopes Cruz victories will lead to a contested convention. Today, authorities announced the capture of Europe's most wanted ISIS fugitive, Salah Abdel-Salam, was wanted in connection with the Paris attacks that killed 130 people last November. NBC's Keir Simmons reports. The Tigers have taken the mat at Madison Square Garden. Kaylee has highlights next in sports.
Starting tomorrow, now you can now wake up with us on the weekends.
Linda Burke's going to be here Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 7. Troy will be there too.
See you tomorrow.
Wake up informed with news, weather, and sports happening right now and coming up later. Watch KOMU-8 News today, Saturday mornings at 9 on KOMU-8. Coverage you can count on.
From Studio 6B in